Him.
I just want to make sure. Go ahead, Southeast Montreal. Thank you for expounding upon that. Appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, bro. Fight the Flat Earth. This is SC. You told me a few months back, if you remember, that you thought the surface of the Earth was 2D.
Yeah, the surface of a
still
sphere
hold that opinion?
The surface of a sphere is two-dimensional. That's just how shapes work. Are you going to go around a bunch of semantic stuff? I don't understand.
No, I didn't ask you a sphere. I asked you specifically. You said the surface of the Earth was 2D, correct?
The surface. Well, no, I said the surface of a sphere is 2D.
I'm pretty sure you said the Earth.
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Okay, so how can you have a 2D sphere then?
Because the surface of any shape is two-dimensional.
Can you have curvature on a 2D surface?
Yeah,
actually, yes, you can.
Yes,
yeah.
actually.
I don't.
Can you draw a curve on a piece of paper?
A Poincaré circle is curved and it's two-dimensional.
A Poincaré circle, Brenda? Come on, surely you're joking, right?
Do you think Ftfe needs Brenda to step in or what?
Poincaré was a French mathematician, and he developed something called the Poincaré circle, which is you have seen in Escher drawings, right? It has curvature. It is a hyperbolic surface, but it's
We're talking about a sphere, not a circle, Brenda. A sphere.
You specifically asked about circles.
No. I said a sphere.
No,
I said, Greg, do you remember when you said a 2D sphere? The Earth is the surface of the Earth is a 2D sphere? That's what I said, Brenda. Nice try, though.
The surface of all geometric forms is n-1. So the surface of a sphere is 3D. -1 is 2D. It's a 2D surface embedded in a 3D object.
Yeah, a surface.
Greg,
a surface has zero thickness, right? So it's two-dimensional. The entire shape, the entire sphere, is 3D, but the surface of any shape exists in 2 dimensions.
So you have a 3D sphere with a 2D surface. Correct?
This is how mathematics and geometry works. Yes. Is that okay? Do you disagree with mathematics in general?
Okay. No, it's not okay, sir. No.
So you do disagree with mathematics then?
No, I disagree with your assessment. You think that a 2D surface can curve.
Yeah. So the surface of any shape is 2 dimensions.
Let me finish, yeah. Greg. Don't get triggered. Are you saying we can have a hump or a drop, that's elevation change, by the way, on a 2D surface?
Yeah, so if we're just talking about the surface of a sphere, the surface of any shape is 2-dimensional. It exists with zero thickness. It has 2 dimensions, no more. That's it.
Right, so how can you go
again? Let me clarify. This is what mathematics says. This is how you describe shapes and surfaces of shapes. I'm not saying a sphere is 2-dimensional, but because the surface of a sphere has zero thickness, the surface doesn't have a thickness. It exists in 2 dimensions. The surface of a shape is 2D.
Greg, you might want to help him a little bit and just say, look, we're talking about spherical geometry, where that 2D surface has a curved shape. It is a 3-dimensional object.
Yeah.
But the math he's using is 2-dimensional. And I know where you're going, SC. I got you loud and clear. You got a surface, you got a sphere with no depth, no volume, just looking at the surface, you're saying, well, if I'm going to look at that thing, it's 3-dimensional. You're right. But the math that determines its shape is spherical geometry, which says that one dimension, that single dimension, that is the surface, going north or south, can be curved. That might help you a little
So you're saying, Zanick, you're agreeing with them, with Brenda and with Greg, that a 2D surface can curve. So Is that what you're saying? Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Because spherical geometry works out. I'm just trying to help you because I know what you're thinking and I know where Craig's going too. I'm just trying to like be a mediator there. Say yes, it's a 2D surface because that's how spherical geometry works. It defines that surface as being curving with some curvature rate. But if you're going to take a picture, if you're going to actually look at, if you're looking,
I didn't come here for
finish.
I came for FTFE, not you.
So
No,
the
it's not.
surface of an 8-dimensional sphere is 7 dimensions.
What, Brenda? You outdid yourself once again.
Yeah. The
Eight-dimensional
the
I
surface
thought
of
what I
an,
did was useful. I don't know. Maybe not. Does everyone?
it was,
understand what I'm saying?
and maybe this will help, maybe not. The surface of an 8-dimensional, take an 8-dimensional sphere, its surface is 7 dimensions because it's n minus 1.
My God, Brenda, you truly don't believe that. Does anybody here believe that? Anybody?
Belief is irrelevant to mathematics. Someone in my chat made a good point. In addition to the fact that it's got 0 thickness, you can actually locate any point on the surface of a sphere with only 2 coordinates. Right?
As long as you presuppose and know that it's a sphere first.
Well, yeah,
We
but
were talking about
presupposing
curvature.
is irrelevant, right? You can find the position on a sphere with only 2 coordinates. That means it's 2-dimensional.
So what? I'm just talking about position.
Presupposition is completely irrelevant, especially when your mathematics are based on a presupposed globe, i.e. 7/6r, where r represents the radius. Just as an example, you don't have to explain anything. I'm just rendering it with an example. Thanks.
I just wanted to make my point. I'll back up, give the mic to somebody else. They're delusional. Everybody saw that, right? They're saying a 3-dimensional sphere has a 2-dimensional surface, yet you can go up and down and curve on it. I mean, it's fantasy.
100%.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
use angles like trigonometry, 3 angles, 3 straight lines to observe mathematics on a globe, a model globular surface. My ass.
What now?
Well, SE was talking to you at FTFE. If Brenda and Zanick could just chill a little bit. I didn't really understand what he was describing at SE.
Well,
You didn't understand what I
Montreal
described?
just disagrees with the fact that the surface of a shape is 2-dimensional. I mean, yes, that sounds wrong when you hear it, right? But at any level of mathematics, that's how you are taught to describe a surface. You know, that's why you can use a 2-dimensional coordinate system to find a position on the surface of a sphere. The sphere is 3-dimensional, but the surface of any shape exists in 2 dimensions. This is
You know,
just a fact
2D
of
is just a
mathematics.
concept, right? Right, Fight the Flat Earth? You know 2D is just a concept, right?
2D is just a concept. Did you just say that?
Yes, I did just say that. Would you like
So
me to repeat
having
it?
2 dimensions of something is just a concept.
Correct. It's just a concept. Did you not know that? Were you not aware of that?
No, I wasn't aware that 2 dimensions is a concept.
Well, you might want to have a look at that then.
Yeah, you might want
Because
to look
we
at,
live in a 3D world.
You might want to have a look at what the surface of a shape is, you know?
Yeah, you might want to do that. And you will find, sir, that nothing you've ever seen, touched, even thought of is, well, maybe thought of. Maybe you can think of a 2D. But nothing you've ever experienced in your life, Greg, if I may call you that, is 2D.
No, daddy to you.
Yeah. And surface area is way different than volume. When you have 3 dimensions, i.e., well, no, 2 dimensions right now, let's talk about x and y, x going left to right, y going up and down. Adding the 3rd dimension being the z-axis gives things perspective. You guys seem to always relate things to a 2-dimensional observation.
That's not what perspective is. Perspective
Have
is...
you ever seen anything in 2D, Brenda?
Yeah, we see everything in 2D.
Yes,
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's how seeing
Absolutely.
works.
Are you kidding me? When a car drives towards you, you see it in 2D, you silly boy?
Yeah, your brain
brain's
extracts information by binocular vision, your brain extracts a three-dimension image, information from.
What if I look at a clear square?
Hold on a second, Demok. Angular resolution happens what now? How do you bring angular resolution on an observation on a two-dimensional plane? Please.
Go ahead, Demok, dude. You haven't had a turn yet. You can go for it, man.
Please.
I was just going to say that if you get a clear square or a clear sphere, what would you be looking at? You wouldn't be looking at the clear three-dimensional object in front of yourself, seeing all accounts of it. Well, what's going on there, Brenda?
Well, if something's invisible, it's invisible. That's kind of irrelevant to the
No,
conversation.
clear, like a clear plastic square in my hand, Goofy.
Yeah,
a clear
so
piece of
it's kind of
plastic. I didn't
invisible,
say
right? You can see
invisible.
through it.
Are
So
you
you-
magic? What do you mean invisible?
So you can see through something
What the
that's...
fuck are you talking about?
Sorry,
What's
one at a
invisible?
time.
is it clear or is it opaque? Which one is it?
Nobody said invisible, Superman.
Is it clear or is it
A
opaque?
piece of plastic. You know what a water bottle's made of?
Yeah, and you can
That
see through it,
material,
right?
goofball. Yeah, so you see it's 3D, goofball.
Yeah, and the surface of it is 2D.
Yeah, case closed.
Yeah, and the surface of it is 2D. Because
It's a
the
3D
surface of
fucking
shape.
object. You see all of it. You see
Yeah.
through it to see the other side. You
Yeah,
see the
and
area of
you're
all
still
of it.
seeing in
You
two
see all
dimensions
6
because that's
sides
how
of
your
the
brain
cube
works.
that's clear. You
Yeah.
see all 6 sides of this clear cube, stupid. Shut
Right, so
up.
I
That
can
might
draw.
not be the case.
I can
for
draw
demo.
a clear cube on a piece of paper. That clear cube will
I
still
don't care
be
what
in
you're
2
doing on
dimensions.
paper. You can draw your globe on paper too. Does that make it a ball? I want a clear object in your hand that's a square, Goofy.
I
a
don't
clear
care what
Rubik's
you want,
cube.
Demok, because
And tell
what you
me that you
need
can't see
is a
it.
mental asylum.
No, you said that's one-dimensional. You
Hold on
got
a
a
second.
one-dimensional cube in your hand. That's funny.
No one ever said one-dimensional
ignorant.
cube.
Wait, Craig,
How
hold on a
how
minute.
many dimensions is your paper?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Craig, how are you possibly going to claim a cube when a cube has 3 dimensions, length, width, and height? It is a volume. You have to calculate volume with 3 dimensions, my friend. Not
Okay,
just
well,
2.
I am right now drawing a cube.
You can listen,
Right.
you can represent a cube, right, on
So
a piece
that's
of
a clear
paper
cube.
because a piece of paper is a planar object, right?
Right,
You can
right.
reduce.
So
the
does that look
observation
3D
of
or
the cube
2D?
to the observation
Because
of a 2D
looks 3D
plane.
to me, but it's 2D.
However, again, a cube is the illustration of length, width, and height because it has a volume. Do you understand that? You can't
Yeah.
say that a cube is a 2D dimension.
I never said a
Or a
cube is a
2D.
2D dimension.
Sorry, a 2D plane.
I never said a cube is
Apologies.
a 2D plane.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Nope. Nope.
Not once did I say that at all. I don't know where you got that from. I said the surface of
What
any
did
shape
you
is
say?
2-dimensional.
What did you say a cube can be shown as?
Well, I can draw a cube on my 2D board.
Right? Now,
So is that a
the
cube? Is
illustration
that a
of-
cube? Or, right, have I drawn a cube or not?
you drew it on a cube. You reduced the cube, right, to the observation on a plane piece of paper, right?
Yeah. And I never
Right.
said
Now-
that a cube is 2-dimensional. I never said that.
I'm sorry, appealing to the court or the panel, if you will. Did this man not say a cube, 2D plane?
He said we see in 2D.
Yeah.
He was describing how an image of a cube, or the way we see a cube, is in 2 dimensions. Saying you could draw it.
Right. Now, again, I'm going to say that when you look at the definition of a cube, right, the difference of a square or a cube, a square has 2 dimensions, length and width, right? A cube, when you introduce the 3rd dimension of height, makes it a 3-dimensional object. This is my point.
But you're not taking into account that when you draw it out on a 2D plane, you are referencing a 3D object in 2D.
What is the volume of the surface of a sphere?
Good question.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
You
that's
are not
a good
even
one.
at that
Yeah.
point either.
What is the volume? What is the volume of the surface of a sphere?
Okay, we were looking at a cube again,
Okay.
right? We are looking at a cube which
Okay, what's the volume of a
square-
surface of a cube?
Yeah, I was about to say you could just switch the shape to a cube and go, what is the volume of the surface of a cube?
So a cube has 6 sides, right?
Yeah, and what's the volume of the surface of that cube?
And they're all even, aren't they?
Yeah, so again, what is the volume of the surface of that cube?
It's literally one-sided cube to figure out the volume of that. And if you wanted to figure out surface area of
it's
that,
it's a simple question. What is the volume of the surface of the cube?